This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 11th day of May in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Let's tell you now that the observation report detailing objections and other issues noted during the recount of the votes is important in meeting the objective of the recount. That position was made clear today by the chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, during a meeting with representatives from the new parties that contested the elections. According to GCOM's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward, during that meeting, some of the party representatives expressed concern about the observation report being time-consuming.
They did raise some concerns as it relates to that report, and they believe that in some instances that is time-consuming and it does not really have relevance to the process. I think the chair did express the view that she believes that it is key to the exercise based on the objective of the exercise and also as it relates to in compliance with the order.
The Public Relations Officer said the Elections Commission will have a meeting tomorrow, but she's not clear whether the issues raised by the new parties will form part of the agenda for that meeting. Yesterday, the Guyana Elections Commission decided that the language used for the compilation of the observation reports should be looked at carefully, so the impression is not given that a report represents a final position. The new parties also raised concern today about the filtering down of information from the Commission to all the workstations involved in the recount in a timely manner. Today marked day 6 of the recount of the votes. More news coming up in a moment.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
We all want to stay in touch, right? Now, even more than ever before. So to keep your connection strong, GTT is going 2 for 2. Combine GTT mobile and home internet services and we'll give you 2 gigs of free mobile data each month. With 2 GTT services, you're fully connected at home and on the go. Visit us online at gtt.co.gy/2for2 to learn more and start doing more with 2 for 2 from GTT. Stay safe, stay strong, Guyana. We're in this together.
A face mask only works if it is put on, used, and removed properly. Before putting on a face mask, please do remember to wash your hands with adequate soap and water for at least 20 seconds, or use a hand sanitizer with 60% or more alcohol. This is an N95 face mask. Check your mask for holes and tears. Identify the top of the mask. Cup the mask in the palm of your hand with the metal strip at your fingertips and the elastic bands hanging loosely. Position the mask under your chin and covering your nose. Place the lower strap behind your neck. It must touch your neck. Place the upper strap to the top of your head. Untwist the straps. Use both hands to mold the shape of the nose piece by pushing downward and outward. Perform a fit check by checking the mask to see if there are any air leaks. Do not lower your mask to speak. You must not touch the front of your mask. If you do, then wash your hands immediately. When removing the face mask, remove the bottom elastic from behind, then the top elastic, ensuring that the elastic straps do not snap. Once again, do not touch the front of the mask. Throw the mask away in a bin with cover. Do not forget to wash your hands immediately. Remember, if your mask gets damp, replace it.
Welcome back. Let's turn to the coronavirus in Guyana. With the number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Guyana climbing by 5 over the past 24 hours, the Public Health Ministry is issuing a new warning about the disease and pleading with Guyanese to follow the safety guidelines. Public Health Minister Valdo Lawrence today said a disaster could be approaching if citizens do not adhere to the guidelines and safety measures.
Guyanese, a disaster is at our very back door. And unless we exercise caution and adhere to the control measures, the model figures of 1,400 and 20,000 can become a reality.
Since the 11th of March, when the first case was recorded in Guyana, the total number of cases has now climbed to 109, with 63 of those cases still active. Health officials continue to face an issue with contact tracing, as some of those who have tested positive continue to be reluctant to disclose the information of persons they may have exposed to the virus.
Fellow Guyanese, we have constantly been pleading with you to come forward if you have been in contact with a positive case. We have also listed the areas where confirmed cases have been identified. But still, there is a reluctance for you to disclose your contacts. We must think seriously about flattening the curve and containing the spread of the virus so that we all can return to normalcy. Therefore, we ask you, yes, you, to put aside fear and stigma and do come forward and provide the information so that your loved one, your friend, or acquaintance can avoid the risk of contracting this disease and possibly losing their life.
Mobile testing sites have been set up in the city and along the east bank of Demerara and the east coast of Demerara. Those mobile sites have seen very few persons turning up for information or to be tested. Georgetown remains the epicenter of coronavirus in Guyana, with the city ward of Kitty recording more positive cases than any other part of the country. Let's tell you now that in a May 6 letter to the U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Karen Cummings, writing on behalf of President David Granger, made it clear that the government of Guyana was not budging from its position to keep the airports closed to incoming passenger flights, thereby leaving out a Carter Center observer and others who wanted to be part of the observation of the national voter recount. The U.S. Embassy had written to the government seeking special approval for officials from the Carter Center and the International Republican Institute to be allowed to come to Guyana aboard an Eastern Airlines relief flight that was coming to the country to ferry out U.S. citizens and permanent residents over coronavirus concerns. That initial request to the COVID-19 task force was denied, but was followed by another request that was sent directly to the president on the 4th of May, 2 days before the start of the recount. In response to the last request, the foreign minister in her letter to the ambassador stated that the public health situation in Guyana has changed drastically since the general and regional elections on the 2nd of March, and the government requests that its measures to protect its citizens from disease are respected. The foreign minister pointed to the closure of the 2 international airports to all international flights except for outgoing cargo flights, medical evacuation flights, technical stops for fuel only, and special authorized flights. It was also pointed out to the U.S. ambassador that the president had agreed that a high-level team from CARICOM observe the recount process. That team was allowed into Guyana on a special chartered flight that was given permission following a request from CARICOM. The 3 members of the CARICOM high-level team had to undergo coronavirus tests in their home country before coming to Guyana. The recount of votes started last Wednesday, and the CARICOM team, along with other international and local observers, have been observing the process. The foreign minister in her letter said the government of Guyana is proud of its record of democratic governance in the recent past, with 2 local government elections over the past 5 years, ending a more than 20-year drought. The Carter Center was hoping to send 1 observer for the process, while the International Republican Institute was also hoping to send representatives. While the IPI was not an accredited observer for the elections, it had worked along with the Elections Commission on voter education issues and was also involved in funding one of the local observer groups for the elections. Last Thursday, the foreign minister met and held discussions with the diplomatic representatives from the US, the UK, Canada, and the European Union. During that meeting, the foreign diplomats noted the importance of the recount, while the foreign minister noted that the government was pleased that the recount was on the way. Still in the world of politics, U.S. Congressman and Chairman of the House Democratic Caucus, Representative Hakeem Jeffries, has expressed worry and concern over what he considers the U.S. government's foreign interference in the affairs of the elections in Guyana. Mr. Jeffries made the fiery comments during an online interview with President of the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy, Rickford Burke. The U.S. Congressman was asked directly about recent tweets and statements from the U.S. government through its State Department about the recent elections in Guyana. Congressman Jeffries said while he understands the U.S. government playing a role in the monitoring and observing of the electoral process in Guyana, some of the statements made by U.S. officials are deeply troubling. Congressman Jeffries represents the 8th Congressional District of New York, an area that encompasses large parts of Brooklyn and a section of Queens. His congressional district also has a large portion of the Guyanese population in the United States. In addition to serving as the current chairman of the House Democratic Caucus, Jeffries is also a member of the Judiciary and Budget Committees of the U.S. Congress, as well as a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. He is the 5th-ranking Democrat in the U.S. Congress. Well, with over 200 ballot boxes recounted as part of the national vote recount, the governing APNU-AFC coalition is alleging that a recount has unraveled clear and unmistakable patterns of irregularities. In a statement, the APNU-AFC said the recount has found countless instances of dead persons being recorded as voting exclusively in PPP strongholds, and countless instances of persons who have long migrated from Guyana and who were not in Guyana on election day being recorded as voting. The APNU-AFC coalition has been making its objections to the votes known during the recount, and the objections have been recorded. The coalition is also alleging that there have been countless instances of persons who did not uplift their ID cards from GCOM for many years being recorded as voting in stronghold areas for the PPP, but with no corresponding oaths of identity being found in the ballot boxes. An oath of identity document is required for persons who vote without the use of an ID card or passport. In the lead-up to the election, GCOM had published the names of persons who did not collect their national ID cards over the period of several years. The APNU-AFC in its statement said the recount has also found instances of votes for other parties being recorded for the PPP and additional instances of missing poll books. The party said there were also several instances that votes were cast clearly for the APNU but deemed spoiled. The coalition said it remains committed to the recount process as it is unmasking the PPP's attempts to contaminate and rig the march to elections, according to the coalition. The concerns and objections that have been raised during the recounts are being recorded in the observation form, and it is the Guyana Elections Commission which will have to decide on the way forward with the information received. The Hydromet Office has issued a flood warning for those areas that are flood prone. The warning will remain in place for the rest of the night and early into Tuesday. Rainfall accumulation is expected to be between 10 millimeters and 40 millimeters into this evening. The Pomeroon Supernam areas in Region 2 and the Esquibo Islands West Demerara areas in Region 3 will be most affected, while other areas will experience cloudy skies with brief showers. The Hydromet Office has also reported that frequent showers and thunderstorms are expected on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of May. Rainfall is expected to range from 30 millimeters to 70 millimeters, and due to the prolonged precipitation period, flood-prone areas are expected to experience floods, while hilly areas may experience some landslides. The mayor of Georgetown has informed the Civil Defense Commission that based on the most recent report he received from the city engineer, all pumps in the capital city are fully equipped and functioning. During the months of May, June, and July, the Hydromet Office has extended forecast predictions that all regions will experience above normal rainfall, with some extreme events during those months. Across the region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about, and ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Canaan, East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013, with over $10 billion Guyana dollars invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000-barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
A face mask only works if it is put on, used, and removed properly. This is a surgical mask. Before putting on a face mask, you must wash your hands properly with adequate soap and water for at least 20 seconds, or use a hand sanitizer with 60% or more alcohol. Before putting on your face mask, you should also check your mask for holes and tears. And remember to identify the top of the mask. The top of the mask has a metal strip. Put the mask on by holding the 2 elastic loops. Place one loop on one ear at a time. Pull the bottom of the mask to cover your mouth and chin. Place the mask over your nose. Pinch the stiff edge of the mask to the shape of your nose. Remember, do not pull down your mask while in use. Do not touch your mask while in use. If you do, please wash your hands immediately. To remove the face mask, hold the elastic loops from the back of your ear, Pull them apart, do not snap, and pull it downwards. Then place in a bin with cover. Do not forget that as soon as you take off that face mask, you need to wash your hands immediately. Also, replace your mask once damp.
Across the region right now, the Trinidad and Tobago government has announced a phased reopening of the country following the lockdown occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic. But the government is maintaining that the borders would remain closed until June. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said schools would remain closed until September and that churches would also not be allowed to conduct services, as had been the case prior to the pandemic. He told the news conference, however, that citizens must not put their guards down and they should continue to follow the measures announced, including social distancing, the wearing of masks, and in some respect, continue to stay at home. Colombia's national airline Avianca has filed for bankruptcy protection in a U.S. court. The carrier is the second largest in Latin America, but its passenger operations have been grounded since March because of the coronavirus. The airline said the pandemic had cut more than 80% of its income, and it was struggling with high fixed costs. If it fails to come out of bankruptcy, Avianca will be the first major airline to go under amid the pandemic. In a statement, the firm said it had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in a court in New York. The process postpones a U.S. company's obligations to its creditors, giving it time to reorganize its debts or sell parts of the business. And finally tonight, international news. 19 sailors were killed and 15 others injured in an accident involving Iranian naval vessels in the Gulf of Oman, Iran's Navy has confirmed. Iranian media reported that a support ship Konorak was hit by a new anti-ship missile being tested by the frigate Jamaran during an exercise on Sunday. The Konorak had been putting targets out in the water and remained too close to one, according to reports. The Navy said the ship was towed ashore and that an investigation is on the way. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.